Speaker, in Far North Queensland, fuel prices are not only impacting drivers on their daily commute to work and school drop-off. Fuel shortages and fuel costs are impacting our farmers, our tourism industry and our regional communities and small business owners who rely on visitors to survive. And nowhere is that more obvious than in Far North Queensland. 1 in 7 people are employed by tourism in our region, and our farmers produce so much food, including 98% of the bananas for Australia. It's already hard enough in our region with the recent weather events, let alone this fuel fragility facing Far North Queensland and Australia. My heart breaks for the tourism operators impacted by this fuel crisis. A national reef operator in Far North Queensland will see fuel expenses increase by $1 million from February to the end of financial year in June. $1 million in unexpected costs. Another operator is facing $6,000 in additional fuel costs every single day, and that's over $100,000 per month in increases. These costs are hitting operators in the pocket and threatening their ability to run tours both on the ground and in our oceans. But the big problem is they sold these tours 6 months or a year ago and have to honour that price. And this means that they'll be running these tours at a huge loss. We've nearly gotten through our quiet wet season and we are now coming into peak tourism season to make up for it. But my fear is that many of these businesses are going to be in a world of pain if they don't make profits during our high season. With a cost of living crisis, drive tourism to our region is also at significant risk, especially to the tip of Cape York, where fuel is of dire concern. There is also a real risk of flight costs to our region skyrocketing. I know one person looked at a flight 3 days ago and it's increased by $600 already. These figures make the ability and the reality crystal clear. Fuel prices increasing and not just hurting hip pockets at the Bowser, they are putting jobs, tourism and regional livelihoods at risk. The fact many people don't know is that from Cooktown to Cape York, these communities are totally reliant on diesel to run generators as they are not on mains power. If we can't keep the flow of diesel into these regions, they won't even be able to flush a toilet, let alone be saved by one of the hospitals there. This is also devastating to our farming community. One farmer tells me their freight levies have jumped from 13% to 44% in 2 weeks. And this isn't abstract, it directly reduces farmers' ability to ship produce to markets within Australia. Farmers must spend more just to keep crops viable, like the $100,000 needed for fertiliser next season that they can't afford to buy now, but they are, because without it, there's no crop next year, and there is a real risk they won't be able to get it in a few months' time. Even our prawn trawlers can't justify the extra cost of fuel to go out and get prawns for our Easter plates at Easter time. This affects not only local markets, but also national distribution, reducing available food in other states and increasing pressure on the agriculture sector. Independent fuel suppliers like Speewah Country Tavern and Merino's Fuel are under severe pressure as they are struggling to even get fuel delivered to their servos as the majors are getting priority. This morning I spoke to Michelle from Speewah Country Tavern, one of my local taverns, who also has accommodation and a servo attached.
Member for Inala, you're warned.
They are currently down to 0 diesel and they have 2 days left of petrol. Customers are desperate, with some asking for her used oil, her cooking oil, to make their own diesel. The tavern had to limit diesel to 40 litres per day, and today they had to turn away the local school bus, forcing it to drive 30 minutes to Mareeba for fuel as they don't have any. There is no guarantee of a supplier arriving tomorrow either. This is their reality. And through the heartache and frustration, Michelle told me, and I quote, "The federal government is blind to regional Australia. They don't care about us. And this needs to stop." Mr. Speaker, these are real stories, real people, and real concerns in my community. We need urgent action from the federal government to ensure that fuel flows to regional Queensland, and not just to the major fuel stations, but to the small businesses like Michelle and Laurie in Speewah, like Merino's Fuel across Cairns. And I quote our Premier, "It's a national crisis and it needs a national solution." I commend the Treasurer for writing to the ACCC, who are now monitoring fuel prices weekly across capital cities and more than 190 regional locations. The federal government has the data, it can see the pressure building in regional economies like Far North Queensland, and the Federal Labor Party holds the key policy levers, including fuel excise. This is not beyond its control. This is a matter of urgency and a matter of choice, and Senator Green needs to stand up to her Labor federal mates and ensure Far North Queensland isn't forgotten, especially our tourism industry.